Hello, welcome back. We are going to have a slow flow today. I want to get into my hips personally. Feeling that sort of lower energy today, and I want to honor that and be where my body is at. So this is perfect for you if you're in that same sort of lower energy where you just need to really soothe and take care. Okay, start your playlist. 3, 2, 1. Come onto your back with the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. Reclined butterfly. Shimmy around until it feels like you're nice and supported by the floor. Play around with lowering your low back into the floor a little bit more, shifting your hips side to side, shimmying your shoulders under your heart space, maybe taking your arms a little wider. And when you find your sweet spot, land here. Palms open, knees wide. Check in with yourself, settle in. Watch your breath. The word resistance comes to mind. There's a saying, the path of least resistance. And this entire time through the whole pandemic and all the chaos, it is very challenging to not feel resistance, to not be resistant to such stark change, to grief, mourning the loss of people, of previous lives or jobs. Resistant to the future, what it looks like for us. And perhaps an entire life overhaul, which I'm sure you feel in many ways. Breathe it in, let it go. Today, just for these few moments of class, I would love if you would drop resistance. Encourage yourself to release your grasp. To not hold on so tight to the things that we cherish, to the things that are identifiers, job, titles, all those things that we label ourselves with that help us feel a little bit more purposeful in this world. But just for now, I'd love if you would let go of needing to be any certain thing. Let go of your labels. Try not to resist. Moments for your feelings, to let them settle, to let them be how they are, to experience them. And just for this practice, can your purpose be to be? Take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. You can wiggle and shift if something's getting a little sticky. Start to find deeper breaths into your low belly. Exhale, push your feet together, merge your low back down. And inhale, you can soften up, let the knees go wide again. Fill up your whole stomach. And exhale, sigh it away. A few more rounds of breath, just like that, slow and steady. Take in more than you have so far, as much as you could. Slide your hands off, ball up your hands into fists and take them round one direction and circle it out the other. Open and close your hands. Spread through your toes. Push the soles of your feet together again. Get connected to your hands, to your feet. These sensory parts of us. We have 7 chakras, but there are actually more chakras in your hands and your feet. Energy centers. They're just not quite as talked about. And take your hands to the outside of your thighs. Encourage your knees together slowly. And then take your feet in the opposite direction. So your feet go wide and your knees come in. Gingerly, be gentle. Low back down. Tail slightly rolls up and down, almost like your pubic bone was sliding down into your navel. And then take your hands to your thigh bones. Push the thigh bones away and gain a lot of space in the low back and rock your hips side to side. Deep breaths. The slower the better for this practice. And when points of tension or discomfort arise, can you, instead of flinching or reacting, can you pause and breathe into it? Choosing the path of least resistance. Okay, and then let the knees open up to one side. You can take your arms out wide. You could keep them connected. Whatever best for you, whatever is best for you. Take it side to side with the knees. Windshield wiper. Massage the outer hip. Let it really carry you. See if you can draw the ribs down and in. Explore with the breath. Floss out those hip, ball and socket area, the joints. 3. That's 2. Lots of breath. And that's 1. Take it back to center. Hug your right knee into your chest. Let your left leg go long. Point, flex. Try rolling around in circles with those feet. Creating some space in the ankles. And then relax into it. Really give it a hug. And take that knee towards the armpit, outside of the ribs a bit. 2 breaths. Sigh. Exhale, let it go all the way. Take that knee over for a twist. Your right hand can come to your low back for a little bit of support and also for breathing encouragement. So breathe into that hand. And relax, soften, let your shoulders go, let your jaw release. Just focus your attention on that breath. And last one. Very good. Now softly, I'm going to grab that leg and we'll roll back to the center. Keep the core engaged to protect the low back. Open it up into a half happy baby. You kick into the toes to try to bring the foot to the back wall. Ideally, there's a 90 degree. It may not happen. You can just grab behind the thigh and keep kicking. Maybe the calf or the ankle, maybe outside a foot, or yogi toe lock, the big toe. Now here we want a long, straight spine, merging down into the floor. You can try flexing and opening the soles of your feet, but really sending the energy out and away through those toes, heel up to the sky, thigh bone opens. 2 more breaths. Good. Bring the knee back into center, heel to booty. Give it a squeeze and roll your forehead up to the knee for 2. And for 1, bend the left knee in, right ankle on top of left thigh. Figure 4. Grab behind the left thigh. Flex into the feet. Find a nice stretch for the outer hip. This is reverse pigeon, supine pigeon. Anything that is supine just means it's on your back. 2 full breaths. Explore. Maybe rock it side to side a bit. Part of being non-resistant is being malleable, flexible, changeable, strong in will, strong in power, but not strong to the point of stubbornness, to the point of unwillingness, of closure. Easy breath in, easy breath out. I find that when I allow my feelings and thoughts to enter without me resisting or pushing, it becomes much more manageable to deal with those thoughts and feelings because I'm not fighting them. I'm not saying, get out of here. It's truly an embracing quality. Embrace your experience. Okay, take that foot back to the mat. And now we'll take a twist to the other side. So keep the ankle connected. Open up your arms like a T and take it on over. You already know how resilient and adaptable you are. That's the right word, right? Adaptable? Yeah, right? You already know those qualities about yourself. You've gone through so much in your life that have carried you to where you are today, so you know that what's next is just another phase of that, another trial of growing you and changing you for the better. And when you look back on those challenging points in your life, all of that resistance that you may have had seems so futile, so pointless. It was going to happen anyway, right? The difficulties are there for a reason. Teachers. A little deeper. Look for the lesson. Look for the lesson in the pain. Look for the beautiful memory that you can savor if you are going through grief or loss what from that experience or that memory can you carry with you into the next chapter of your life? And exhale, come back to center. Slowly take that foot off. Feet go wide. And we come back to the windshield wiper, side to side. Go slow. And it might not even be that you're resistant or that that's not resonating so much, that word. But perhaps lack of patience. And that in of itself is resistance. Like, oh, when is it going to change? Or when are things going to get better? Or they never get better. You know, these negative self-talks that we do that are tend to be automatic. And I encourage you to allow yourself space and time to slow down and savor it all. Savor everything that comes. Good or bad, however you label those things to be good or bad. Because nothing is good or bad until we label it so. Exhale, come back to center. Left knee into chest. Give it a squeeze. Opposite knee goes long. And just breathe. You can point and flex. Roll out the ankles. How much time do I have? Okay, perfect. I'm on a timer, y'all. Gotta keep it tight. So even when we do have outside restrictions or deadlines or self-made timers, just take that knee outside of the ribs, give it a big squeeze. Big breath in 2 times. Even when we do have these inhuman, unnatural things working against us, we have to take inventory as to where we can allow some flow, some freedom, some time to process. Let's take it across the body to the other side. For many of us, we were still working through the chaos, still trudging along. How you cope is so unique to you. You either over busy yourself or you completely freeze and stop, or maybe it looks like something in between. All of it is confusing usually, but there's no right or wrong. It's important, I think, to acknowledge when something is feeling, when something makes you feel like you aren't doing the right thing, like when you feel guilty. For example, yesterday I slept all day and it felt really wrong for some reason. Like, oh, can't believe I wasted a day. But that's what I needed, and maybe something similar happened to you where you don't feel like you're being as productive as you could be, or, you know, whatever the I'm not blank enough is, that's another part of dropping your resistance. It's another part of releasing that negative self-talk. One more breath. Big sigh out. Give me a little brrr. Brrr. Yeah, a couple more. Brrr. Good. Slowly, softly carry that knee back to center. Little windshield wiper with just that thigh, and then we kick into it for the half happy baby. Wherever you can grab. Kick into the foot. Take it back that way. 90 degree to the best of your ability. Breathe into it a little deeper for me. Soften around the areas that are feeling a little intense. Let something go. Relax your shoulders away. Remind yourself that everything's all right. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Good work. Maybe side to side a bit here. And then we cross it over the right thigh. Take your time. Hug it in. Do your best to keep your tail pretty low to the floor. If it's starting to roll up and get really tight, then we want to take it down just a notch. Maybe even keep the foot on the floor. No right or wrong. Can't say that enough. No right or wrong. The way you deal with things, the way you move through this life, the places you find yourself in. It's all perception, individualistic perception. What serves you the best will be discovered. You will learn. A mantra that I really love for sort of the theme of what I've been talking about. I trust in the divine timing of the universe. Just trust. Take it side to side. Trust that you will be taken care of, whether that's by the universe or self-made care, both. Just trust. Like I said before, it's worked out so far, right? So far, so good. All right, take that foot back and down. And now we'll take it over to the left. So keep the ankle connected. Drop it over and open it up. Big full breaths into the low belly here. Expanding the sides of the ribs all the way down into the lower back. Now on your mat, how can you drop resistance? How can you let go of that tension? That idea of where you should be or could be, even in your pose. How can you let go of that and remain present? Tap into your breath. Tap into the sensation of your body expanding and contracting with your breath. The whole universe expands and contracts. And that enough can be a meditative focus. And bring it back to center, nice and slow. Let something go. And take that foot off and to the side. Big breath in. Now roll yourself over to your favorite side. Come in for a quick little fetal pose before you start to press yourself up into a seat. Whew. Yeah, just take a nice easy seat, nothing fancy. Me and my creaky floors. It's always a dance to find the less creaky spot. Take it on over to the right side for a side body stretch. Now what we're looking for here is a lot of space across the chest, a lot of space between the ears and the shoulders. So if you could think about the crown of your head lifting and the shoulders going in the opposite direction, that's the energy we're looking for. Easy inhale, easy exhale. Soft neck, so nothing cranking one way or another, just nice and long. And then, yeah, we'll actually do that. Bend into the top elbow, take your hand behind your skull. Try to get the elbow nice and high. And then lean your head back into your hand. That right hand is still pushing into the floor to lift you up. Good. And then exhale, launch off the floor. Both hands behind the scalp, the skull. Exhale, bring the elbows together and get a nice stretch for the back of the neck. Just let gravity do the work. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slowly roll up, open the elbows, push the back of the head into your hands. See if you can lean back to look up. Exhale, stack everything, skull over hips. Reach your arms out wide. Good, let's switch it out. Come on over to your left side now. Can you breathe even deeper? Look up at the sky. And we'll take it back to center here pretty soon, but first let's get in that bend of the upper arm to lift a little more. Lean the head back. 2. And 1. We come back to center. Exhale, open up your arms. Take one heel out and then the next. And see if you can scoot your booch back so you really get those sits bones into the floor. Knees a little wider than hip distance. And I'm keeping my arms up. You could keep the fingers behind you just to open up the chest a little bit more. Take the knees over to the right. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe get a little twist in there for 3 breaths. Active belly, lifted heart. Grounding from the floor up. Keep the feet nice and flexed, and then we'll take it back through center. Slow, and to the other side. Shed your resistance. Molt your layers of tension. Of everything that is bringing you down, weighing on your shoulders, just let them melt away. And lift up through the heart and come back through the center. Now we'll flow it out a bit more. So we go right and left. As you go through center, see if you can keep your heart nice and lifted. That's the tough part. Oh boy. A little bit of core work too, but it's that mobility that we're looking for. I'll go 2 more times, one each side. I'm about to creep up on my microphone here, so I have to switch it up. Scoot back a bit. This will have you traveling across the floor. Land on the opposite side, so to the right, or left rather. Come back to center. Soles of the feet together, so butterfly just like we did, but this time it's a forward fold. Push the feet in, send the knees out wide. Inhale, tall heart. Exhale, hinge from the hips to fold. If you have days where you are sleeping all day, or it's just really hard to get your energy above a certain level, just know that it's okay. And that too is part of healing and a part of the process. I say it all the time, you're a human being, not a human doing. It's hard to remind myself that too sometimes. What with the media and the socials and all of the outside expectations can be really challenging to accept yourself where you're at. But that's the whole point. That's everything. Relax. Let your head go a little more. It is only from a place of acceptance that you can truly move forward with the greatest amount of love for what you do and who you are. Take 5 more breaths. Really enjoy them. Slow inhale to roll back up. Really nice and slow. Like you were 80 years old. When we're 80, we're all going to be quick on our feet because of all the yoga. Good. Give your knees a little hug into center just to neutralize the SI joint. It's part of your sacrum. Big breath. And exhale, come into tabletop, hands and knees when you're ready. And just a few more postures for this practice. Really to solidify the openness of your hips. To allow your motions to settle in just a bit more. And we are moving through cat-cow now, so do as you please. Pacing, direction, but stay present. Stay connected. Don't check out. Don't go anywhere else. Just be right here. If you hear a text come in, let it. You'll get it at another time. Sarah Schreck, shout out to the patron. She's on this page. She said it beautifully in class the other day on Zoom. She was like, I said, I'm so tired all the time. Are you guys tired all the time? She said, yes. In fact, it feels like I'm my computer or my phone when I'm being charged all the time. Now I don't hold a charge anymore. I was like, Sarah, you genius. You can walk your hands side to side, start to turn the fingers out. And just find different directions of the hands. Spread into the finger bones a lot. Maybe flip onto the back of the hands just to practice a little bit of space here. Play with it. It can be pretty tense. Try not to resist. So thank you for that sentiment, Sarah. It really resonates as an analogy. But I just come back to yoga. It's that space that it creates. It's that time that it gives me. It slows everything down. Even for just 5 minutes. Walk your hands out. Melt your heart to the floor for a little puppy pose. Forehead down. Good. Now slowly come back, tabletop pose. One downward facing dog, if you please. You can hang out in tabletop if you want. Start to pedal out your feet before we move into our final poses. Okay, left foot comes to center, right leg sweeps as high as you'd like it to go. Just get some space in there. Bend into the knee and make some circles. They can be small, they can be really big. Just do whatever you're feeling today. Try a little bit of both. And then exhale, right foot outside of right pinky. Take your time, you'll step it there. Whew. And then lower the back knee down. So ideally the knee is over the ankle. And you can stay up on your hands, lengthen the back leg a lot. Or maybe you can try one forearm down, maybe the other. Wherever you're at today. If you do have blocks in your home or large books, you could use that as a halfway point. Ground your right big toe into the earth. Push through the ball of the right foot. Push through the back foot as well. The top of the foot is pushing into the floor. And let that head go. Notice what comes up. This can be pretty intense. So just pay attention. Notice what you're feeling. Breathe. Your opportunity, your time to let it flow. Good. And start to walk yourself back up. One more breath. You can slowly take the hips left to right if it feels okay. It's pretty sticky at first, but after you do it a couple times, just about an inch, you can sort of warm it up. Lots of breath. Now, pull the right hip back, squeeze the left thigh, and see if you can straighten out that leg just a bit. Toes towards your face, right hip way back. You do not have to be in a forward fold. You just lift your chest, in fact. 2 and 1. Hands come down, tuck the back toes. Sweep that leg back, three-legged dog, or down dog, I should say. And opposite leg comes up. Now you're in three-legged dog. Of course, you can still be in tabletop pose. You could do some hip circles even here in tabletop. Sorry, I didn't show you on the other side. Whoops. Bye-bye, friend. Okay. Little circles, big circles. Anything goes. Anything goes. I know a bunch of you are theater kids, so I had to do it. Just like me. Okay, step it outside the pinky. Take your time. That never gets any easier. Lower the back knee down. I can tell you, it doesn't. It's always challenging. Press through the top of the back foot. I'm going to start up here on this side. It's a little different for me. So ground down through the big toe, ground down through these parts of the foot, balls of the foot, outside edge of the foot. You really want it to stack. And yeah, how you take each side will be different. And let it flow. Okay, inhale big. Exhale, walk it up, lengthen through the spine. Slow and steady, start to engage the back leg to draw that left hip back, toes towards your face. Long, strong spine. A little side to side, maybe. If you wanted that here, you could do it here. Whew. Let it go. And then hands come forward, bend into the knee. Send that leg back, downward facing dog. And into our final hip poses before we come back onto our back. Pigeon posture, right knee in towards your right wrist. Back leg is strong and straight. Now, my foot is not way out here like some teachers may have you do. All I care about is that the foot's not in your crotch and that the knee is in line with your hip. Now do try to square the hips off of it. So what I do is I lift up and out of it, draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. And that's the range of motion I work with. Back leg is strong and straight, press down to the tops of the foot. And you can come onto forearms. You could come all the way down. And this is one of those poses where I just want you to breathe as deeply as possible. That's it. Please, just take them in. This is a hip opener class, so you can try to bend in the back knee, maybe catch the foot, come into a different variation of pigeon. But this is also a slow and easy class, so I'm not asking you to go past any edges. That's only if it's already there for you. I'm not even feeling it today, so you do you. Hands into the earth, grip through the finger bones to push that leg back up. Maybe you come in for a three-legged dog, but just as I said, only if it's really feeling like you want it. Ooh. Otherwise, don't even worry about it. Good. And then the opposite leg reaches up. Open up your hip and send it to the left wrist. Knee to wrist. Foot comes outside. Lower yourself down nice and easy. And before you come all the way down, just make sure that left hip is drawing back, the right hip is drawing forward. You're pressing down through the back foot. And then you can come on down. Wherever you land, forearms or forehead. What part of your body can release so that you can have a better experience? Where in your body can you let go of that resistance that's causing you stress? Shoulders, tongue, face. Breathe deep. And exhale, draw your hands back. Push yourself up slow, slow, slow. Maybe the back foot, maybe not, yeah. Press into the earth, lift that leg all the way up. And maybe flip dog. All it is just bringing that foot to the other edge of the mat, spinning your hips to the sky. And we come back. Okay, walk your feet to the front of the mat. And come in for forward fold, ground to the soles of the feet. Just let your head go. Maybe even take the hands to the base of your skull and interlace them to put a little bit of weight so that gravity gets a helper here for your neck. Good. Take your feet even wider. Start to sway side to side. Now toes turn out, heels in. Sink your booty down for Malasana squat, Buddha squat. Hands come to prayer. Lift the crown of your head to the sky. Elbows into your thighs and thighs into your elbows. Ground through your feet. This is a beautiful posture for your root chakra, the basis of your home, of your stability, right at the base of your tailbone. So see if you can call upon that beautiful earth energy here, feeling safe and secure in your decisions, in your home. And if that doesn't necessarily feel totally 100 for you today, Allow this to be a reminder that that's okay. And everything comes and goes. And there's always a balance, delicacy. We have to play and work to find that balance. Okay. Now, I want you to support yourself as you come to sit back on your booty. So hands behind you and then have a seat. Good. And the feet come in front of you. Ground the feet into the floor. We're rolling back one bone at a time. Take it slow. Ooh. Right when you feel like you want to give up, that's when you pause, you breathe a little deeper. And bring those feet in just a bit closer. Bridge pose, just to make some space for the low back. Activate the front of your thighs. We've done a lot of work for these hip flexors here. You can even feel how warm they are. So we're doing a little stretch for them here. If you lift those hip points to the sky, big breath. Good, and then roll the spine. You know, the bone all the way down. And I'd actually love it if you would do that one more time. But first bring the knees together, just like we did at the top of the class, feet wide. Push onto the thigh bones. There we go again. Excellent. Feet as wide as hips, knees stacked over ankles to the best of your ability. Roll up. And this time maybe support your hips or your booty. Maybe interlace the hands below. Dig into the floor with your feet. Hip points to the sky. Big, full, open-hearted breath. Good. Release the hands. Take them out to the sides. One bone at a time. Come back down. Nice. Now knees together. Hug them into your chest. And we open it up for a full happy baby. Grab onto the big toes. Maybe the outside edges of the feet or behind the calves. Behind the thighs. Wherever you can grab. Let it go. Now we can rock it side to side. Because you're a happy baby, and this is what happy babies do. They love to play and explore. And after all of the grief and difficulties of being an adult, sometimes it's nice to just waddle and crawl like a little baby. And then maybe you can extend one leg out. Maybe try it on the other side. It's not a perfectly straight situation. You're just getting some space for the bottom of the leg, the hamstring, into the psoas. Good. Now bring the knees back to center. Exhale, take your left leg long, your right leg long. And if there's any way you would like to take Shavasana, you could do feet together, knees wide, just like we did at the start of class, if you want that extra hip stuff. You could put a blanket under your knees to support your low back. With all the hip work we did, it might be nice. Or you could be just as you are, take up space. Feel the weight of your body on the floor. Listen to the subtle shifts of your room, of your environment. What do you hear? Check in with your senses. temperature, taste, touch. How does it feel to be in your body now, as opposed to the start of class? How does it feel now that you've given yourself plenty of space to just be? And then let go of everything and just rest. Surrender. Take a deep breath in. Move your jaw side to side. Brush your thumbs over your fingertips. Reach your arms up and overhead. Big morning stretch. Bring your knees in and take it to your favorite side fetal pose. Soak in some self-love, some self-nourishment, acknowledgement of your journey, how far you've come. Push yourself up. I'll never figure out that floor. And then bring your thumbs to your forehead, third eye space, place of intuition, of trust, of wisdom. I trust in the divine timing of the universe. We'll seal class with an Om, healing vibration. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you forever.